J. Hassan's first day at his new school was filled with a mix of excitement and anxiety. He had just moved to a small town with his family, away from the bustling city where he had grown up. The transition wasn't easy for him. Not only was he adjusting to a new home, but he was also entering a school where he knew no one and where the students weren't familiar with his culture. He was a Muslim teen, and as much as he had always been proud of his heritage, he knew that in a place like this, his background might make him stand out in ways he wasn't used to. As he walked through the halls, Jay couldn't help but notice the stairs. He had always been tall for his age, but now it felt like every inch of him was being scrutinized. He was wearing a traditional kilt-like garment called a sob, a long white robe worn by many Muslim men, and his dark, curly hair was neatly trimmed. His father had insisted on him wearing it, reminding him that it was an important part of their cultural identity. He tried to ignore the whispers and giggles he heard behind him, to the words were unmistakable. They were clear enough for him to ping out, even if they were mostly whispered under breath. Terrorist, weirdo, go home. Each insult stung, but Jay, determined not to let them see how much it bothered him, kept his head up and walked straight to his first class. The teacher, MRS Jenkins, greeted him warmly as he entered the room, and the other students glanced at him curiously. Jay took his seat in the back of the classroom, trying his best to focus on the lesson, but the feeling of being different lingered. When the bell rang and the class was over, he was the last to pack up. As he stood to leave, a group of boys approached him, blocking his way to the door. Hey, Muhammad, one of them sneered. You come from some backwards place or what? Jay's stomach sank, and his throat tightened. He had been called this name before, but it never stopped hurting. The boys snickered, waiting for a reaction. Why don't you just go back to where you came from? Another one said, his voice dripping with mockery. Jay felt the familiar rush of heat in his chest, the feeling of being trapped, of having to choose between standing up for himself and avoiding further confrontation. He stared at the floor, trying to hold back the tears threatening to spill. His body was rigid, but inside, he felt small and powerless. Are you gonna cry now? The third boy taunted. Before Jay could respond, the classroom door opened, and MRS Jenkins appeared, her stern gaze falling on the boys. That's enough, all of you, she snapped. You will not treat anyone like that in my classroom, or anywhere else. Apologize to Jay, now. The boys muttered under their breath, clearly not sorry, but they apologized anyway, almost too quickly. Jay, still shaken, nodded stiffly and walked out of the classroom without another word. He didn't want to make a scene, but he couldn't shake the feeling of humiliation. The rest of the day passed in a blur, with more stares, more whispered remarks, and more insults under their breath. He tried to keep to himself, hoping the day would just end. When he returned home, his mother was waiting for him in the kitchen, her gentle smile quickly fading and she saw his face. How was your day, Jay? She asked, already sensing something was wrong. Jay tried to brush it off, not wanting to worry his mother. It was fine, Mom. Just a long day. I'll be okay. But his mother, who had always been attuned to his moods, didn't buy it. She set down the dishes she was washing and walked over to him, placing a hand on his shoulder. Jay, I know it's tough sometimes. You're different, and that can make people react in ways that are hurtful. But I want to remember something. Jay looked up at her, his eyes glassy. What's that, ma'am? You are strong. Your identity, your culture, your pace, they are what make you who you are. Never let anyone take that away from you. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. Just be yourself. Her words are comforting, but they didn't make the pain of the day go away. Jay knew his mother was right, but it didn't change the reality he faced every day. He spent the evening reading the Quran, seeking solace in its verses, trying to feel peace amidst the storm of emotions soaring inside him. His father, who was usually more quiet, came into his room later that night and sat beside him. You are stronger than you think, Jay, his father said in his calm, reassuring tone. Your pace will guide you through this. Don't let the words of others define who you are. Jay nodded. Though deep down, he still felt like an outsider. But he promised to himself that he would try his best to hold on to the lessons his parents had taught him. He would fight back not with anger or bitterness, but with strength, grace, and pride in who he was. The next few months were a roller coaster. Jay's experience at school didn't improve immediately. The taunts and the whispers continued, and even though he tried to stay strong, there were days when it felt like too much to bear. But he had his family, his pace, and his friends. One of the few people who offered him true kindness was a girl named Sophia, who sat next to him in English class. She didn't care about his background or what others thought. She treated him with the respect that he deserved, and they quickly became friends. One day, while the two of them were sitting in the cafeteria, a group of girls came up to them, talking loudly and pointing at Jay's sob. Isn't that a little weird? One of the girls asked, laughing. Why are you dressed like that? Is it some sort of costume or something? Sophia, who had always been protective of Jay, stood up. That's incredibly rude. It's his culture. You don't have to understand it, but we respect it. Jay was taken aback. Sophia had always been quiet, but in that moment, she was standing up for him, and it felt like it had been lifted off his shoulders. The girls muttered apologies and walked away, but Jay couldn't help the smile that crept onto his face. Sophia's kindness had made all the difference. He wasn't completely alone. As the years passed, things slowly began to change. Jay started to find his voice. He joined the debate team, where he was able to express his thoughts and beliefs without fear of judgment. His grades improved, and his teachers began to notice his quiet leadership skills. By the time he graduated high school, Jay was no longer the shy, introverted teen who had been mocked and excluded. He had become confident, articulate, and determined. He applied to college and, to his surprise, was accepted into one of the most prestigious universities in the country. His parents were overjoyed, and while Jay was proud of his achievements, he never forgot the struggles he had faced along the way. As Jay transitioned into college life, the challenges he faced were different, but they weren't gone. Even in a more diverse environment, there were still people who struggled to understand him, who still saw him as an outsider. But Jay, now more self-assured than ever, didn't let those moments of prejudice break him. He knew his worth. And over time, he began to embrace his identity fully, letting his experiences and his pace guide him to new heights. During his freshman year, J found himself involved in student government. 이거 to make a difference on campus. He quickly became known for his ability to listen to all sides of an argument and for his calm, logical approach to problem solving. He was appointed as the diversity chair on the student council, and it was there that he first began to recognize the true power of his voice. His work in student government gave him a platform to challenge stereotypes and misconceptions. He led discussions on campus about cultural diversity, intersectionality, and the importance of creating safe spaces for students of all backgrounds. Through his efforts, more and more people began to see J for who he was, an intelligent, driven young man who had something valuable to contribute to the world. In his sophomore year, J became the president of the Muslim Student Association, MSA, on campus. His passion for bridging cultural gaps and fostering understanding led him to host numerous events that promoted interfaith dialogue, understanding of Islamic culture, and education about the challenges Muslims face in today's world. He brought guest speakers to campus, organized cultural festivals, and led efforts to raise money for charity. While not everyone on campus agreed with his views, J began to feel that his efforts are making an impact. People began to listen not just to what he had to say about religion and culture, but about leadership, about standing up for what's right. And he realized that with each conversation, each event, he was helping to break down the walls of ignorance and fear that so often kept people divided. But despite all his achievements, J still faced moments where he was reminded of his past struggles. He recalled the days when he was mocked at school, and he had to stand tall despite the hurtful words and actions of others. However, rather than letting those moments bring him down, they fueled his desire to make the world a better place for future generations of students, particularly those who would walk in his shoes. After graduation, J entered the workforce, eager to put his leadership skills to use. He started working at a non-profit organization dedicated to social justice and community outreach. His role focused on helping marginalized communities either through advocacy, community building, or mentorship. In the years that followed, J found himself not only growing professionally but also expanding his horizons personally. He never let go of his passion for social change, always remembering the ways in which his experiences had shaped him. Through his work and his continued involvement in activism, J became a respected voice in his community. He wasn't just a young man who had overcome adversity, he was a leader, someone who used his story to inspire others to embrace their identity and push for change. One day, many years after his first encounter with discrimination in high school, J received a surprising email. It was from the school district in the town where he had grown up, the very school that had mocked him all those years ago. The email was an invitation to speak at the school's annual leadership summit, an event that brought together students, teachers, and community leaders to discuss issues of equity, leadership, and personal growth. At first, J hesitated. The wounds from his time in that town were still fresh in his mind, and he wasn't sure he was ready to revisit those painful memories. But then he thought of the young Muslims who might be walking those same horrors, feeling the same isolation and discrimination he had felt. He thought of how he could be the role model they needed, someone who could show them that despite the hate and the prejudice, they could rise above it and make a difference. Jade agreed to speak at the summit. When the day arrived, he found himself standing in front of the same school that had once made him feel like an outsider, ready to deliver a message of strength, resilience, and hope. He spoke about his journey from the taunts and the rejection to becoming a student leader and then a professional advocate for change. He shared how, over time, he had learned to embrace his identity, how he had come to understand that his background was not something to be ashamed of, but something that made him unique and strong. As he spoke, Jay saw the faces of the students in the crowd, the same expressions of confusion, doubt, and longing he had once won. And he could see the shift in their eyes as they listened to him, as they heard his words not just as a speech, but as a message of possibility. When he finished, there was a long, quiet pause. And then, the applause began. It wasn't just polite applause, it was heartfelt. It was the kind of applause that comes from people who have been inspired, who feel like they've heard something that will change their lives. But Jay didn't stop there. He went on to encourage the students to stand up for themselves, to support one another, and to speak out when they saw injustice. He told them that the power to change their world was in their hands, and that they could make a difference, no matter what their background or identity was. After the event, Jay received several messages from students and teachers alike, thanking him for his words. Some students even shared their own experiences of being bullied or marginalized, and Jay did his best to listen, to offer advice, and to give them hope. He realized that this was exactly why he had agreed to speak, that in doing so, he could help others who felt as lost and helpless as he once had. Over the years, Jay continued to make his mark in the world. He returned to his hometown frequently, speaking at schools, volunteering in the community, and supporting local organizations that worked for social justice. He became a well-respected advocate, and his work led him to bigger opportunities, including leadership positions in non-profit organizations that focused on education, racial equity, and LGBTQ+ rights. And one day, after years of hard work and dedication to his mission, Jay found himself offered the unthinkable. The school district, now a more inclusive and progressive institution, offered him the role of principal. It was a position he never would have dreamed of when he was that young Muslim teen, bullied and rejected. But now, years later, he was in a position to make real change from the inside out. The job offer was both humbling and overwhelming. Jay knew that it wouldn't be easy. There would be challenges, but the opportunity to change the lives of countless students, to create a safe and welcoming space for them, was one he couldn't pass up. As he stood in the office of the school, looking out at the same halls where he had once felt like an outsider, Jay knew that this was his moment. He wasn't just a former student who had been mocked and rejected. He was a leader, a principal, and a living testament to the power of perseverance, self-acceptance, and fighting for what was right. Jay's first day as principal was both exhilarating and daunting. As he stepped into the familiar hallways of the school, he couldn't help but feel a deep sense of pride and purpose. The very walls that had once witnessed his struggles, the classrooms where he had been humiliated, are now the same ones where he would work to ensure that future generations would never have to endure what he did. This was no longer a place of rejection, It was his opportunity to save a new legacy. He stood in his office for a few moments, taking a deep breath, reflecting on how far he had come. The same teenager who had once been mocked for his identity, who had been made to feel different and unwelcome, was now the person in charge. But they knew the weight of responsibility that came with this role. He wasn't just a figurehead. He had a real chance to make a difference in the lives of the students and faculty who crossed his path. The morning announcement began, and Jay's voice crackled through the school's intercom system for the very first time as principal. Good morning, students and staff. This is Principal Jay Hassan speaking. I'm thrilled to welcome you to another school year. 1 year will focus on respect, inclusivity, and creating an environment where everyone can thrive. I want each of you to know that you are valued here, and I will do everything I can to make this a safe, supportive space for all. He paused, knowing the significance of those words. He had heard promises like this before, from other principals and other leaders. But he had learned that real change came from action, not just words. He would be held accountable by the very people he was speaking to. But for Jay, that was what made it all the more important. The day was filled with meetings, introductions, and a chance to observe the daily workings of the school. He spent time with teachers, learning about their challenges and goals for the year. He spoke to the staff about his vision for creating a culture of respect and kindness. 1 year diversity was celebrated, and air bullying or discrimination of any kind was not tolerated. He knew that some of the faculty may have been skeptical about the changes he hoped to implement. But he wasn't going to shy away from difficult conversations. He wanted them to understand that this wasn't just a professional duty, it was a personal mission. During his lunch break, Jay walked through the cafeteria, where students were eating and chatting with one another. He spotted a few familiar faces, some of the same students who had been at the school when he was 18. He felt a sense of connection with them, especially with those who, like him, might have been marginalized in the past. Jay knew that many students came from different backgrounds and faced their own struggles. His own experiences had taught him how important it was to create a community where everyone felt like they belonged. As he passed by a table, he noticed a group of students staring at him curiously. He recognized them as part of the student body that had once mocked him. They were older now, but some of them still carried the same attitudes they had when they were younger. Jay could feel their eyes on him, their silent judgments. But instead of turning away, he approached the table with a calm, measured expression. Hi there, he said, his voice friendly but firm. I just wanted to let you all know that I'm here to help make this school a better place for everyone. If there's ever anything you need, or if you have any questions, I'm always available. We are all in this together. The students were caught off guard. They mumbled quick, awkward responses, unsure of how to react to their new principal's direct approach. Jay didn't mind their discomfort. He had faced powers in the past, and he knew that sometimes the best way to deal with ignorance was to face it head-on. The conversation ended quickly, and Jay moved on, but he could feel the subtle shift happening in the air. Maybe they hadn't understood everything he'd said, but he had planted a seed, and that was enough for now. Over the next few months, Jay worked tirelessly to build relationships with both students and faculty. He made it clear that his goal was to foster an environment where everyone felt valued, no matter their race, religion, gender identity, or background. He implemented workshops on cultural competency and sensitivity training for the staff, ensuring that everyone understood how to address issues of bullying, harassment, and exclusion. He pushed for policies that would support LGBTQ+ students and staff, including gender-neutral bathrooms and support groups for transgender students. At the same time, Jay worked hard to earn the trust of the students. He organized open forums where they could voice their concerns and suggestions for making the school a better place. Jay was determined to give them a platform to ensure that they felt heard and understood. He wasn't just a principal who sat behind a desk. He was an advocate for the students, someone who knew firsthand what it was like to feel overlooked or discriminated against. But not everyone was on board with Jay's vision. Some of the more conservative parents voiced their concerns. They didn't like the direction the school was taking. They were uncomfortable with the discussions on LGBTQ+ rights, and they questioned Jay's commitment to traditional values. There were even protests at school board meetings. A few parents made it clear that they didn't believe a Muslim principal was the right choice for the school. Jay didn't let their objections deter him. He knew that the road to change would be difficult, but he was prepared for the fight. With the support of his allies, teachers, students, and progressive parents, Jay pushed forward. He had learned to stand strong in the face of adversity, and he knew that his presence in this role wasn't just about leading a school, it was about changing the community's mindset, one step at a time. As the years passed, Jay's impact became undeniable. The school's atmosphere began to shift. Students who had once been afraid to speak up now felt empowered to share their voices. Bullying incidents decreased, and teachers reported a more positive and inclusive environment in their classrooms. Jay's leadership had started a ripple effect, and the school became known not only for its academic excellence but for its commitment to social justice and inclusivity. Then, one day, as Jay was sitting in his office reviewing student feedback surveys, he received a letter from the school district. It was an invitation to a school board meeting, where he would be recognized for his outstanding contributions to the school and the community. The letter ended with an offer. They wanted Jay to take on a larger role in the district as the head of a new initiative aimed at fostering diversity and inclusion across all schools in the area. Jay sat back in his chair, a smile creeping across his face. It was the recognition he had never expected but had worked so hard for. He had become the change he had once wished for. Looking back at his journey, from the bullied teen to the principal of the very school that had rejected him, Jay felt a profound sense of accomplishment. He had not only succeeded, but he had also paved the way for others to follow. He had turned his painful past into a source of strength, and in doing so, he had changed the course of history for the students who would come after him. The road ahead was still long, but Jay knew one thing for certain: no matter what came his way, he was ready to continue fighting for equality, justice, and the right for everyone to belong. The recognition that Jay received from the school district was just the beginning. His role as the head of the new diversity and inclusion initiative allowed him to expand his efforts even further. He was given the responsibility of implementing programs that would touch all schools in the district, from elementary to high school. His goal was to ensure that no student would ever feel the sting of discrimination or exclusion like he had. With this new platform, Jay set to work immediately. He organized workshops on cultural competency for both students and faculty, focusing on breaking down stereotypes and encouraging empathy. He developed mentorship programs for marginalized students, ensuring that they had access to the support they needed to succeed. He pushed for a curriculum that included diverse perspectives, allowing students to see the world from different angles and learn the value of inclusivity. Jay's leadership in the district became a model for other communities. Schools from neighboring districts began to reach out to him, asking for advice on how to implement similar programs. He found himself speaking at conferences, sharing his experiences and the lessons he had learned over the years. His story was no longer just his own, it was the story of thousands of students who had been overlooked, who had been told they didn't belong, but who had risen above those challenges to make a difference. But Jay's journey wasn't just about changing policies or improving education. It was also about changing hearts and minds. He knew that real change didn't come from laws or rules alone, it came from the way people saw one another. It came from understanding, from empathy, from creating spaces where everyone felt safe to be themselves. One evening, after a long day of meetings and conferences, Jay returned home to his apartment. He sat on the couch, reflecting on how much he had changed. He thought back to that first day at his new school, and he had felt so small, so out of place. He thought of the hurtful words that had been thrown at him, the taunts that had made him feel invisible. And now, here he was a leader, a voice for those who had been silenced, a man who had turned his pain into power. His phone buzzed, and Jay glanced down to see a message from Sophia, the girl who had stood by him in high school and others had mocked him. Jay, I just wanted to say thank you. The message read, You've come so far, and I'm so proud of everything you've accomplished. I remember when you were just kids, and you never gave up. You've inspired so many people, and I'm just lucky to have known you. Jay smiled, his heart swelling with gratitude. Sophia had been one of the few people who had always believed in him, who had supported him and no one else would. Her friendship had been a lifeline, and now, years later, he could see the ripple effect of their shared experiences. She wasn't just proud of him, she was part of the change he had worked so hard to create. He typed a quick response. Thank you, Sophia. I couldn't have done this without people like you. You've all come a long way, and I'm just getting started. Jay's work continued to grow, and with each new initiative, with each new success, he could see the impact he was making. He began to receive invitations to meet with policymakers, to work alongside other influential leaders who were fighting for social justice. His name became synonymous with inclusion, with standing up for what was right, no matter the cost. But it wasn't the recognition or the accolades that mattered to Jay. It was the students who came up to him after speeches, telling him how his words had changed their lives. It was the teachers who thanked him for creating a safe space for them to be themselves. It was the community members who reached out, saying that they had learned something from him, that they were now more open-minded, more willing to listen. And then, One day, Jay received a phone call that would change his life forever. It was from the school board again. But this time, the conversation was different. Jay, the voice on the other end said, "I've been following you closely, and I've come to a unanimous decision. I believe you're the right person to take on an even larger role in the district. I want to offer you a position as the superintendent." Jay's heart skipped a beat. He had never considered this opportunity, but now that it was in front of him, he realized that this was the culmination of everything he had worked for. This was his chance to lead the entire district, to implement his vision for inclusivity on an even grander scale. After a moment of contemplation, Jay replied, "I'm honored and humbled by the offer. I've always believed in the power of education to change lives, and I would love to take on this responsibility." The decision was made, and within a few weeks, Jay officially became the superintendent of the district. It was a historic moment not just for him, but for the community. Jay had gone from being the bullied teen to the highest-ranking educational official in the district. And as he stepped into his new office for the first time, he knew that this wasn't just a personal achievement, it was a victory for every student who had ever felt invisible. Jay's first order of business was to expand the diversity and inclusion programs to include not just the students, but the parents and the community at large. He knew that real change couldn't happen in isolation, it had to be a collective effort. He initiated parent workshops on cultural competency, started community outreach programs to connect families with resources, and pushed for-school curricula that reflected the diverse backgrounds of the students. But Jay's work wasn't without resistance. Some community members and parents were uncomfortable with the changes, worried that it would disrupt the traditional values of the schools. But Jay didn't back down. He was determined to ensure that every student, no matter their background, felt seen and heard. Years passed, and Jay's leadership transformed the district. Bullying and discrimination decreased, and students began to feel more comfortable expressing their identities. The district became a model for others, and Jay's story was shared across the country as an example of perseverance, compassion, and leadership. Looking back on his journey, from the bullied teen who had been mocked in high school to the superintendent who had received an entire school district, Jay knew that his work was far from finished. There are still barriers to break, still minds to change, but with every victory, every small success, he could see the world becoming a little bit more inclusive, a little bit more accepting. And for Jay, that was all that mattered.